Yo, what's up guys? It's Guilte. Got another video for today. This one we're going to be kind of talking about a couple different things. The gameplay is just a backdrop because this is more of something like I guess a discussion you could say. And it kind of came about when I was playing with a student of mine. We were playing the matchmaking together, and one of the players was just getting mind gamed and was failing to adapt. And one of the biggest things at high level in any game, in any sport, anything is adaptation. Knowing how to adapt, knowing when you're getting played, basically, and knowing how to change something up or taking advantage of people's play styles. And that's kind of what I want to talk about in this video. But first, before we get too far into the commentary, I kind of want to talk a little bit about a simple example of adapting or failing to adapt. So I'm going to use a very basic example. Say there's a Reaper flanking every time that you go into team fight. And you guys have seen him do it the last 5 times, but you still have not turned around and tried to fight him. What you guys need to do is obviously turn around as a team and kill him before you initiate your fight, because that's an easy 61. That is, taking advantage of the way someone plays, because there are players that will only flank. You'll see them. They'll either play Tracer, they'll even do it on McCree. They'll literally only flank. And if you can exploit someone's play style, you're able to take advantage and use it against them. And there's a lot of other stuff. That's just on the individual level. That's a very basic example, and it's not even the one that's going to give you the most trouble. It's probably like the Tracer that you can't catch or the one who's staying alive. Now you have to try to exploit it, and at a team level there's a lot of stuff you can do as well. This is a little bit more complicated, but say there is a team that literally still does McCree, stun, Zarya shield, and speed boost. So say they speed boost the McCree, he walks in front of the shield with the Zarya shield and goes to stun your Reinhardt, right? We'll say, for example, they do that. That's the only thing they can do. You've seen them do it the last 2 fights. Start shielding the Reinhardt right when you hear the speed boost, because the thing is when you shield the Reinhardt and you hear the speed boost, they've blown their speed boost, they blow their Zarya shield, and they blow the McCree stun on a Reinhardt that's shielded. Once you get to that point, you can kind of use it against them because they have no cooldown. They have no speed boost back. You can initiate and speed boost onto them and take advantage of the way they're playing. So there's a lot of things you can do, and this is something that applies to any game in any sport, really. Like, if you know a player plays a certain way, if you watch them play in tournaments and you know that they do a certain thing and you've seen them do it in every tournament, take advantage of that. Adapting is one of the most important things at high level in any kind of sport, and it's also the one most people struggle with. Sometimes when you're playing an intense match, it's hard to focus on actually what's going on and what's unfolding in front of you, because you're more, concerned with playing your game and trying to play the game that you want to play, run the comp that you want to run the plays that you want to run. And sometimes you're not in the right mental state of mind to sit back and say, okay, hey, here's what's happening. Here's what we need to do. They're doing something that's, directly interfering with the way we're playing, or hey, this player's doing this every time. Let's try to exploit that and use that against them. Sometimes, you're not in that frame of mind to think like that. But that's why it's super, super important to have very composed comms. That way you can actually focus on what's happening in the game. And during, a team wipe, you can actually sit back and, analyze what's going on. Because when you're worrying about the shot that you missed, or you're worrying about the mistake your teammate made, you're not focusing on what's happening at hand. And you're not able to sit back and say, hey, let's adapt to this. Let's, this player is very aggressive. Let's try to counter that. You're too worried about, your mistakes. You're stuck in the past. You need to be looking forward to the future. And I kind of want to touch on one more thing in this video that I may do a whole nother separate video on if you guys like these kind of style of videos. Getting mad at your teammates, getting upset with yourself is not, it's not helpful to anybody. And one of the big major things that you need to kind of remove yourself from the situation and not get mad, focus on what's going on at hand, because when you get upset, it's called outcome dependency. You are expected to hit shots, and when you don't hit shots, you emotionally get upset, and it affects your gameplay, and you need to, remove that. You need to realize that what's happening now actually doesn't really matter. The only thing that matters is what's happening in the future. You need to focus on what's going forward and winning the match that you're in, not, worrying about your mistakes in the past, because the thing is, that's what's happened has happened. There's nothing you can do about it. You can't go back and change it. You can discuss it after the match and say, hey, here's what we need to do in this situation. We didn't play this right. But don't worry about it during the game, because when you worry about it during the game, you're literally focused on the past, and that's not going to help you win, going forward. But anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you guys want more of these kind of I want to say psychology, but more about outside the game, not about heroes, not about, team comp, stuff like that, give the video a like, or let me know in the comments if you have ideas as well. I'm actually very, very interested in the psychology that goes into, sports and esports in general. I've watched a lot of DDK and people like those kind of, personalities that sit back and look at things from a psychological standpoint. So if you guys enjoyed it, give it a like. Let me know if you have any ideas that you want me to do in the future. I'm still going to do the hero overview stuff, but I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.